The F1 Abu Dhabi qualifying has just finished with Max Verstappen taking pole position. This is huge with Lando right behind him. That means the two, because Oscar, he's still in contention, of course, for the championship. But it's mainly between Max and Lando right now. There's only a 12-point gap, and they're both in the front row. So people are saying whoever determines the first corner is the winner. Not really to that extent. It's huge advantage, of course. But who knows? They could probably take themselves out like they did last year and then have Oscar win the championship. This is why this first turn is so important. The first start, you have the two main runner. I mean, all three of them, but the two main ones right next to each other, side by side. This is gonna be a really good race tomorrow. I'm really excited with that. Oscarpiastri P3. George Russell, who nearly bombed it like 3 times this qualifying. He really looked. I mean, he's fast, but he had a few chances where he could have found himself in the wall. Charles Leclerc P5, better result for Ferrari. I mean, I'm just waiting until next season. Ferrari just in a stinker right now. Fernando Alonso, the Aston Martin, him especially looked pretty decent during the FP 1, 2, and 3, and then in here in quali. That's probably one of the best positions they've been in these past couple races. Gabriel Bortoleto knocked out Lewis Hamilton, who failed to make it past Q1 again, which is just insane. He was caught crying afterwards. You gotta feel for Lewis. He's one of the best to do it, and he's just in a terrible position where he's in right now. It's a shame, but Bortoleto knocks him out in Q1. It was great for the young Brazilian. Esteban Ocon manages to go in Q3, P8, really huge result for Ocon, and Hadjar, who P9, and then Yuki Tsunoda. Surprisingly, this is his last race for F1 for who knows how long. Yuki, he's been dropped. Hadjar's taking P2, taking the second position in Red Bull. They called up an academy driver for Racing Bulls. I always forget his name. But yeah, that's huge. From there, Yuki does knock out Berman, who's looked really strong, really pacey this race weekend, and then Carlossainz by 7/10 and 8/10 of a second, or not hundredths of a second, actually, not tenths. 7 and 8 hundredths of a second, which is just mind blowing. Liam Lawson P13, Kimi underperforming. He says he says the car, something's wrong. He couldn't really do anything there. Lewis got knocked out. Albon, which I was really surprised. I don't know what's been going on with Albon lately. He has not been, the driver you typically see. This last season wasn't the best for Williams, but the season before that they looked really strong. Williams, especially Albon. They had that Colapinto duoship. Logan Sargent was underperforming. But Albon was, he was 100. He was getting to Q3s. He was getting into the points. And now he's underperforming, failing to get points, failing to make it high in the qualifying stages. So, who knows what would happen there. And then, of course, the two Alpines in the bottom, which they've always been on and off, mainly off this whole season. But yeah, time is ticking. Tomorrow, Abu Dhabi 2025. We'll see who will win the World Driver Championship. This is going to be such a high-profile race here. We haven't had more than 3 contenders in a championship battle since was it 2010? I know there's one in 07, but I think 2010 is when it was with like the 4 drivers of was it Webber, Hamilton, Alonso, and Vettel. So this is gonna really, really excited race to see you there. But my thoughts, I want Lando to win, man. Max, I really like Max. It's a shame that I liked all 3 of these drivers. I love Lando, Max, and Piastri. It's a shame. Like if it was at least like a Russell or a Hamilton, even though I like Ferrari, but Hamilton's not my go-to guy. Because I didn't really watch during his prime. I watched towards the end of his Mercedes days, his last 2-3 stints in Mercedes. So I don't have that huge fangirl over Hamilton. So it feels like a Lando Hamilton and a Russell championship battle, I'll be like, yeah, fuck those guys. I want Lando. But this one's hard because I want Lando, but I love Max. But he has 1-4, so you can't, But then there's Oscar, who was leading the championship by 20 something points, and just to drop it after poor finishes, it's just what happened. He is 100% capable of being champion someday. So, but Lando, I've seen him first join McLaren, going through the ranks, as a rookie, as when McLaren were, a mid-average team, to, back-to-back constructor championships. And he's been in the program for 7 years. It's just like, I want to see him win. Like Max, I didn't see him when he first started F1 climbing through the ranks, but Lando, I've seen him when he was in the bins. I've seen him when, climbing through the ranks. So that's what I want to see. Same with Oscar, though. I seen Oscar when he first joined his first season. The whole Alpine debacle with McLaren, and then the tweet, everything. And he's like, that's not true, yada yada. So if the regulations is gonna hit, so it's not like Mercedes are quote unquote looking like the best car for 2026. So it's either, well, McLaren is this like McLaren's last 2 stints of being the fastest car, and the next season is going to completely change. Is McLaren still going to have pace? It's a whole thing. Who knows what will happen? But yeah, really, really excited for Abu Dhabi.